Hello, hello. Um, Teresa has put a message in the chat saying that she's going to be running a little bit late. So we will, hopefully, Carol is here to. I don't know how many of these interviews you may have seen, Carol, but typically,
Actually, I think just one.
oh dear. Uh, typically, the moderators are, putting clickable links in and so on. Oh, and one of the things I forgot to say before we went on camera is that don't feel the need to try to read the comments because I'll draw your attention to anything that you need to know about, and it keeps your focus on the actual conversation. Um, so tonight, episode 40. Can you
Oh,
imagine 40 of these? And I'm so pleased to have Carol from My Quiet Corner. Every time I've been writing that channel name down or thinking about it or saying it out loud, I always want to say My Quiet Life. So, why did you make it a corner instead of a life?
because my life finally had the quiet corner.
Okay.
It was hectic
Um,
before. It was stressful before.
yeah. Well, that's very legitimate. But, of course, when I searched for it, there are several people who allegedly have a quiet corner. So the distinction in yours is that you have the hyphens in you.
Hyphens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So hopefully, someone will put that into the chat so that it's easier. Well, it will be clickable links so that it would be easier for people to find you. Um, so I'll just say hello to those people who are here already. So we've got Susie Allen. Now, some of these names I don't know, so I'm imagining that you brought them here. Sharon Lombard.
Yes.
Oh, good. Welcome, Sharon. Beth Schuler.
Yes.
Okay, this is like taking roll call or something.
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome, Beth. And of course, we know Happy Place Crafting Libby. Welcome. Denise is here. Okay, so those guys are getting acquainted there in the chat. So I, of course, well, okay, the reason I even knew of your existence is that you must have participated in the chat when you showed up. Who's just for the heck of it, whose interview was it? Do you remember?
It wasn't an interview.
Oh,
You were just doing, well, maybe it was a live if you only do live videos. Maybe it
I don't know.
was.
Oh, I don't know.
But I came to
Anyways,
your channel.
um, eh, anyway, so somehow, or maybe I found you in a chat of somebody else's live, and one thing leads to another, and then oh, Alberta, hey, that's so naturally I want to know who this is. So we have okay, I'm new to Hazel and referred to come from Anne,
Yes,
Lahr.
Anwar. She streamed today,
Oh,
and
okay.
I was passing the link around.
That's my girl. And Elena Morrow, is that
Yes, I know
Elena?
Elena. Elena is also, I know her from Charlene's Studio Suite, I just can't remember the name right off.
Yeah.
But we exchanged ATCs.
Okay, very good. Well, welcome, ladies, because this is heart to heart working as it should, where we get to learn about and cross pollinate our viewers, because then our circle of friends and acquaintances becomes that much bigger. So we've established that you took the long road to get to Calgary,
I did.
that you're actually an American, or
Yeah.
began as an American. So do you want to just tell us how it happened and how did you end up in Calgary?
Um, let's see. Well, from Pennsylvania is where I'm originally from, and came to Ontario and got married. Big mistake. Anyway, moving on from the big mistake. um, I ended up in a situation where I could have been homeless. So my son brought me here.
Well, God bless sons, eh?
Yeah, actually, my daughter-in-law came to Ontario, and they had a what the heck's it called? Uh, ah, blank.
Well, when
um,
you think of it, you tell us, okay?
okay, it was basically her grandma passed, and they had a celebration
Oh,
of life
okay.
over in Ontario. So she then drove me all across Canada to come here.
I once did the drive from Ontario to Alberta, and I must say, going around those Great Lakes, I
Mhm.
loved all the Inukshooks for about the first 50 miles. And after that, I'm thinking, oh my goodness, could we please have a straight stretch of road? Anyway, I know you're a nature lover, so I'm sure you enjoyed every minute of it.
I did
Particularly if these kids were sort of taking you to a better place. Uh, I,
much.
s- I see that, okay, Carol is here. Uh, oh, so of course, Carol is Crinkled Path. So she's saying hello from one Carol to another. And Yolande is here, who is Devon Rex 4.
Yes,
Charlene,
Devin is Yolande.
yes. And there's Charlene Studio 21 is here.
That's Charlene. Yeah.
Yeah, Yolanda's saying she's made the same drive before. Sometimes it's faster to go through Michigan, but then you have to cross borders, and it's not so great if you're moving. So yes, so true. Um, anyway, I have discovered in our little talk and in the research that I've done preparing for this interview that you have had prior YouTube channels, and that you've been at this so long that it wasn't even that you started out in something called Ustream, which I have to
Yes.
say I've never heard of. So, do you want to just talk a bit about why you began the first channel? Because I imagine the first one was the hardest, and after that, after you got into the swing of things and perhaps had a following, that it was easier to keep going.
Well, it all started on Ustream, and actually, I don't know if you know her, but Dee Dee Willingham.
Oh yes.
Yes. So we were all in that group, and she was there first, and then a lot of us started our own Ustream channels, and then Ustream decided to start charging. So we all came to YouTube, and that's where Carol TMT was born. Actually, I was Carol TMT on Ustream as well. And
Okay, and tell me what the acronym stands for.
TMT is the Magical Touch Studio.
The Magical Touch Studio. Now, I think you told me that both of your prior channels,
I
um,
only had one prior, but you can change your name on any channel.
okay, but so Carol TMT and the Canadian Artisan, those,
Yeah.
if people search for them, they would not find
Mm,
anything. But you are in the process of downloading some of those, or
yes.
uploading some of those
Uploading.
downloaded videos. Um, so that would indicate to me that you have been obviously a practicing artist for quite some time. How did that all begin? Like, were you? I know you told me that you were the only girl in a family of five or four brothers. So, was it did that turn you into a tomboy, or were you, in your formative years, were you able to, learn how to sew and crochet and all of that, maybe from a mother or
I
grandmother?
do it all. I
In
do it
spite
all.
of those brothers.
I sew, I paint, um, I slow stitch by hand,
Yes.
embroidery. I love to run machines though, so I also do woodworking. My son has a laser machine which I run. Um, we have a 3D printer. I want to learn the lathe. This is part of they have it out there, so I want to do that. And but my mom, I would say, is my main source and passion I got from her because she was an artist and she was a stitcher and she liked to do paper mache and she was an all around versatile artist. So
So
I say I got it from her.
so did like we know, and I will get to him in a minute, talking about your son a bit more. So did in your family of origin, your mother was, of course, teaching you how to sew and stitch and all of those things. What were your brothers doing at the time, or are they all creatives as well? Did they pick up their own version of creativity?
Um, my one brother, he likes to sing. Actually, he has a YouTube channel
Oh,
and he's a DJ and he sings live on his YouTube channel. So he
oh.
he picked up the singing part of things. We are all very musical. I can play a couple of instruments. A lot of the other brothers they like fishing. Some are mechanics. It's very broad based. I don't think my brothers picked up the art part.
But they're creative in the sense that they're using their hands.
Yes,
Okay, that's great. I also want to say, um, we have, is it Marty
Marty.
54? Oh, Marty gets a double wave. Marty must be very special. Very special indeed. Welcome, Marty. Okay, Yolanda is saying good news that Carol is uploading some of her previous awesome content. And there are some musical notes here from Marty as well. So
Yeah,
are
she
you are
always
you the
sings, she always sings "Oh Carol."
Gwen, the trash witch is here. Hi, Gwen. So are you the kind of person that breaks into song during your videos at any point?
No.
Oh, and is that a good thing? I know that if
Yes.
I did, that would pretty well, I'd probably have a cause a system-wide breakdown or something on YouTube, but
No, actually, I can sing, but I just choose not to. My one brother actually was an Elvis imitator,
oh,
and he sang Elvis songs, and his wife and I were the backup.
well, look at you. You really
I
are
know.
multi-talented. So, it's pretty clear from looking at your content that you very much love the outdoors and nature. And of course, we've talked about Calgary and how you're just what is it, maybe half an hour or so from Banff. No, I guess it's a little
It's
further, isn't it?
it's about an hour and a half, hour and 45, depending
Oh,
on traffic.
yeah. I was telling Carol that we have a timeshare in Canmore, and typically I go there for a week every October, as a creative retreat. But I just take the ring road around the city, and but now that I know you're there, like we might have to do something about it. Oh, Teresa says, Teresa C 205. That's somebody
Teresa,
from,
yes.
she says
The crew is
that you
all here.
well, She says that you break into watercolors instead of song.
Mhm. Yes, I love watercoloring.
Yeah, and Yolanda's saying that we're learning a lot about Carol. Well, that is the whole point. Like I love to learn about other people, and I want it to be sort of fun and conversational and distilled so that you don't have to watch somebody's channel for 15 years to figure out who they really are. So I'm so grateful to those
This
of
is
you
all
who
they ever
say yes.
see.
Yeah. Yes. And I was when we first when Carol first came on, I was a little concerned about the lighting in her room. But she does live with her son. And this is her space. She said she makes like a good girl. She makes her bed every day, but she just made it a little fancier for us. So
And the puppies over here.
yeah, I thought I saw. Whoa, you woke him up.
I did. This is
um,
Loca.
I saw a butt and a tail earlier before we went on, but I didn't say anything. Um, okay, so let's explore some of those. You've said you do all these things, and I, of course, did want to turn the conversation around to slow stitching. I'm old enough to know or remember when slow stitching was just called a little plain old embroidery.
Yeah,
But
it is.
I did see you doing a live. I mean, obviously, I was watching a replay where you were doing something called a braid stitch, and I'm thinking, holy cow, she must be advanced. I've never even heard of a braid stitch. Never mind, tried to do it. So, I think many of us were sort of reawakened to the whole idea of slow stitching by Rachel at Roxy Creations,
Mhm.
and I signed up for that first year and created some pages. Never did bind the book or anything. And it just I can understand the appeal because in this um technological rat race, hamster wheel sort of life that many of us are living, it's just so relaxing, so zen, so I don't know. It takes us out of our heads, I think, a bit. So is that the big appeal to you, or is it something different?
No, my mom taught me how a long time ago, and I've always done it. And then my other channel that I deleted, can't find it, but I did upload some of the videos of the scrolls that I did, and I actually taught how to make the scroll, and then all of a sudden you see everybody's doing it. It's like it was cool. But yes, my mom taught me. I even taught my kids how. My daughter hates to sew.
Maybe she was switched at birth, right? Was
Uh,
there a mix-up at
mm,
the hospital?
Actually, she's very, very artistic herself. She loves to paint. She does watercolor, and she's a photographer. And her job is an event coordinator. So she's very talented.
She just didn't get the sewing gene.
No.
Okay, well, we can forgive her for that. Um, so why, other than sheer habit of having done it so long, what is the benefit that you see from slow stitching? Are you doing it for the end result or the process?
The process and the challenge. I like to pick things that is off the wall and take it and put it to stitch. I can take any picture and put it to stitch with
I
different
noticed,
different types of stitches, stuff like that.
yeah.
It's
So you create the stitch that is going to work in the particular um, um, setting or scene or motif that you're trying to translate in from something else into stitchery. So
Yes.
you will invent whatever is required to make that work.
Yep.
Yeah, that's talent, all right. Um, so the video that I'm talking about was where I think, and of course, that's the danger, excuse me, of coming in, midway through a project. You missed all the introductory parts, but it looked like maybe it was a piece of old bedding, or no, a tablecloth, I
It
think
was a
you said.
tablecloth. Yes.
Yeah. And you had combined painting on the fabric with stitching.
Mhm.
And it sounds like that's something you do a lot of.
Yeah,
Um,
I like to mix everything. Like, I like to bring in my watercolors, my ink tints, the thread. It can be even stuff from nature. You can stitch that onto your material. I like dyeing things. I like to put it all into one to enjoy all the stuff that I like to do.
yes. Yeah. So when you master the lathe, you can put a little teensy bit of wood on there too, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds like a plan. That's really good. And I saw, now it might have been a more recent video. I wonder if I made note of it, where you were all of a sudden, just in the middle of nowhere, in the middle of this live, you announced that you were going to do a giveaway. And I think it was in response to somebody or other's challenge. They were 4-inch squares. And you said,
Oh,
it was like you broke some rules there, woman. You said if you're not using something or if you're unlikely to finish it, you can cut it up and reuse it.
yeah, that's what I did.
And I'm thinking that takes a bit of guts, because I think sometimes we're so wedded to a process or a project that we have started, and we like to delude ourselves into thinking, I'm going to finish that one day.
Yeah.
But you're saying that when enough time has passed, just
Yeah.
kind of admit it and move on.
Turn it into something new.
Yeah. So Beth is saying, ask Carol to talk about her slow stitching scroll.
I can show you.
Okay, sure, do it. Hmm. I will ask the people in the chat, if you're new to my channel, I would certainly appreciate if you would subscribe and like and do all that sort of jazz. And as well, well, Carol is the moderator here at the moment. She will probably be, I hope she's going to be putting people's channels in there so that the people who are kind of regulars, audience members here, will be introduced to all of Carol's people that she's brought here, and we'll all live happily ever after. Oh, lovely. Okay, so 2021, that's when you did it?
That's this one, yes. I've done 2 full ones throughout the whole year, and then I the one I cut up is the one I didn't finish. And this is
So,
all of the
um,
special stitches and
is that
memories, like this
an
is
outhouse?
outhouse memories because when I was in second grade, they we moved to a new house and we said, "Where's the bathrooms?" And they said, "You have 2, one on each side of the garage."
Well, as somebody who's old enough to have had lived on a farm with an outhouse, that's about the only way you want to remember it, is in a piece of stitchery, not from having frozen
You
your butt in the middle of winter.
you can see when I got sick,
Oh, yes.
I got COVID.
Okay.
Everything slowed down.
So, just to give us an idea of dimension, is this about 6 inches tall?
It's about 5, 6 inches tall and about 72 feet long or inches long.
So 6 feet.
Yeah, it's pretty
I
long.
was going to make a smart ass remark and say something about and 4 miles long. So, okay, there's a rhinoceros. So you would have done the outline work of that rhinoceros. You would have drawn the rhinoceros yourself, right?
This is from Hazel Bloomkamp book, but I used her rhinoceros, but I did my own designing with the beads
Oh,
and
yes. So you're saying that, like, I don't know that name. So she has like iron-on transfers or something? Is
it
that what
was
you're?
just a design in a book.
Okay. Oh my goodness, it just goes on and on.
Yeah, it's each one of these is approximately a foot to 18 inches long, and that
So you,
was each month.
yes, I was going to say you have the months in there and other writing or words, like I noticed the word storm.
Yeah,
So
that was
y
my dog. I put memories into my stuff. So if for me, my childhood was it was hard, but it was also a lot of good stuff. So the things that I remember, I've been putting into my scrolls. And this is another one that I've done. This is 2022.
so
And
does
go ahead.
the do you manage to get that done in about a year?
Yes, each month I work on just something out of it. And then this scroll in particular was a fib scroll. I call it a fib scroll because it's friends in the box. It turned into a teaching scroll, and I was teaching on my channel, the other channel, how to do these things and give ideas of stitching, and then they did swaps, all kinds of things. Now there's a bath. This one we had to take baths in a tin tub, so
Oh,
and that's where that
is
memory
that
comes
someone
from.
a fan calling or what?
No, it was a doctor.
Okay, so it
They called
appears to
out.
me that you have different solid panels there. So does that mean that you were working on chunks that like monthly chunks that were about maybe 18
About a
inches?
foot long.
Oh, a foot long. Okay. Well, that would certain, and then you sewed it all together after they
Yes.
were, or as you progressed.
Yeah.
That makes it a heck of a lot more manageable in terms of bulk and so on.
Yes, I would do the stitching on the piece and then add it to the ones that's finished,
Yeah. And
and
how
then I
do you
would
mind
cut another piece.
you mind showing the back? You just have probably a plain backing fabric. Oh, it's exposed.
Yep.
Okay. And so do you like to leave it that way because it
Yes, because
shows
it
the,
tells a story.
yes,
It
true.
tells a story.
I just want to say hi to Jonna. Thank you for joining us. So, I have done some slow stitching on what we would call, snippet rolls or whatever.
Mhm.
Obviously a 5-inch one is kind of, I think the biggest that I've ever done. It's certainly not 6 feet long. Um, very, very satisfying to work on. So, given, one that's much shorter, the common way to store it or display it is to wrap it on a wooden spool. How in the world do you display or do you display something that long?
I had them wrapped around one of the old-fashioned spools, and then I just tie a ribbon around it.
Hmm.
I wanted to put it up on the but then I didn't want it to get all dusty, so I keep it rolled
Yeah.
up. Anybody wants to see it, then I just unroll it.
Yes. That is so beautiful. And I would imagine because of the joy of doing it and the challenge of doing it, that you don't in any way, shape, or form. And I hate to even ask such an amateurish question, but how long did it take you? Like, I mean,
Cold.
have you ever have you ever tracked your hours or days or
No,
I know it's a
because
naive question.
it's the whole month. I work little bits and pieces here
Yeah.
and there
Yeah.
throughout the month for the month.
Yeah. So how do you if you know, obviously stitching is a very sedentary operation, activity. So how do you balance that with your desire to be outside, be in nature and
Um, Usually
walk your
when it's
dog?
raining or snowing or it's just
With
a quiet day, which being here, there's not too many quiet days.
yes. That is that is magnificent, I have to say. Um, Now, I noticed in doing my research, and of course, you confirmed that when I asked you before we went live, that predominantly your channel output, say in the last year, is limited or, it's lives as opposed to videos. So, what made you go that way? And what is your publishing schedule, so to speak? Like how many days a week do you do that?
Well, I started lives because of Ustream, and the group that I was with, we all did lives. So that's where the lives came. Um, as far as schedule, right now I do Wednesdays and I do Fridays. Wednesdays at 1 our time and 3
Finally, we get to talk about mountain time and make
3
everyone else
Eastern
convert.
and Fridays is usually around 9 a.m., give or take a half hour to an hour after that. I usually give a little leeway for the person who's on before me to finish up, and then I'll go live.
Oh, that's right. It seems to me I caught part of Yolande's and she was doing the lead into yours, and then
That would have been me.
someone was going to follow you, I think.
Uh, I was on after her.
Okay, but wasn't someone following you as well?
I don't know who else was on after me.
Oh, I don't know. Maybe I imagined that. So, so you're saying that it's just sort of obviously there's the camaraderie of doing lives, the instant feedback. It's part of a gang thing, so to speak, in that you guys grew up doing this in a sense. But what else is the appeal for you to do a live versus a video that that you just do at your convenience and schedule for some time later? And
Well,
I'm popping a zinc lozenge.
that's fine. um, for me, lives it does give the instant, and I get to talk to the people, which is nice. Um, I have been debating a lot about um, doing more videos because I want to be outside more. So I want to get a GoPro. I want to take that. My son and I are going to go metal detecting and gold panning. So I want to have a GoPro to do that and take video. I want to do some urban sketching in and around Calgary here because there's some very, very unique buildings and design factors, and even just looking at the manhole covers, if you're not an artist, you don't look. But they are unique. So, but there will be videos coming. There will be some changes. I may not be able to do a live all the time, especially when it comes closer to Christmas time. My lives get put aside because we are prepping for the markets, because we take a lot of the wooden animals and designs that we make here as a family, which is their business, but I help. And we go to the Banff market and the Canmore market.
Okay.
So we're we're in production mode.
Okay, just to catch up a bit with the chat. So, um, Devon's name Devon Rex 4 is actually Yolande.
Yolande, yes.
Yes, Carol Crinkled Path is lives in Northern California, and she and her husband love nature and outdoors and whatever, and we've become YouTube friends. So last summer, they made their way north, went to Banff, and then met me in Canmore because I drove down the 5 hours to, from where I live. And they came up from California, and it was lovely to meet a fellow person, fellow crafter, fellow YouTuber in real life. And I'm sure that the two of you the two Carols would have a lot to talk about because they too very much are outdoorsy people. And she's the only person I know who loves bats. So, if you can love a bat, you can probably love everything else. Um, oh, yes. So Yolanda's saying that you guys did, and you told me this as well before we went live. Do you want to just recap that story about how the two of you have met in person?
Yolande, which is Devon, I knew her prior to coming to Alberta. And when I got here, we met up and we made some plans, and she came down, and we ended up having lunch and chit-chatting, and I gave her some stuff to create with. Some happy mail hand delivered.
Yes. Um, is it not just an incredible experience to go from a virtual friendship, which is totally legit and fulfilling and so on, to an actual in-person visit where you can, share a meal or exchange a hug or whatever? I
Yes,
think
it's awesome. It's the best thing ever.
so.
There's quite a few people I'd love to meet.
Apparently you gave her a big box of stuff. I think too that, oh my goodness, I never heard this story. So Jonna, the preppy crafty girl. Oh, and I wasn't able to say hello to Dawn when she signed on. So welcome, Dawn. Jonna is the preppy crafty girl. So Jonna, Carol, Crinkled Path, Angela, the traveling crafter, and I have put together an in-person retreat that is happening this October in Georgia.
Oh, wow.
So we're going to be able to do some hugging and some catching up for real. Okay. And we're landing Carol and I are flying into Memphis. So we're going to meet someone that we met through this chat, Christina, in Memphis. So, one thing leads to another. It becomes catchy.
Hmm.
Um, okay. So tell us about okay, you've mentioned watercolor, you've mentioned woodworking, um, stitching. This is probably an unfair question, but do you have a preference? Or do you love all those kids equally?
I think I love everything equally. Watercolor would be my first go-to if I want to
Okay.
do something that's just to relax a little, and it because it doesn't take a lot of prep, just paper, paint, and water, and you're good to go. But this is up and coming.
Oh, is that leather?
Yes,
Leather work. Okay. So
hand
did
carved
you
leather. And
oh
when I hit 1K in subs, I'm going to give away a leather field notes.
that is beautiful.
And here's another one with just the plain green pebble leather.
Hmm.
So
So people, has everyone, I mean, don't obviously leave us hanging here, but everyone needs to make sure that they go subscribe the first chance you get so that we can get her closer to the 1,000 subscriber mark. And of course, the reason, as I've said earlier, the reason for including people's channel names in the chat is so that we can support everyone and everyone can support us because that's how karma works.
Mhm.
um, I didn't see. Oh, is Susan here? Um, okay, I'm not sure whether you know this or not, but we have a regular in this group, Susan from I Turtly Love It.
Oh, I know, I totally love it.
Okay, so yeah, you can, of course, take advantage of her Sunday news broadcast to promote anything that you might have in the way of challenges or collabs or giveaways or whatever. Gwen is saying the bear is amazing. Um, so it kind of, I think, I asked you the question about which of those activities you love the most. I think the way that we know we are living a blessed life is that we get to choose each day, moment to moment, hour to hour, we get to choose what we work on.
Yeah.
And so are you the sort of person that makes a to-do list,
No,
has a plan, or do you just go with, oh, today is a leather day, or today I feel like stitching? And,
it
you
it
know,
goes by heart.
okay. So one of the, or a couple of those videos of yours that I watched involved you using ink tents
Yeah,
in like blocks, sort of
yeah.
rectangles. And again, I'm so fed up with YouTube and the inadequacy of the comments. I did comment on the video and I asked you about those. And as far as I can tell, you've never answered. So I'll grill you here. What?
I thought I did.
So, oh, did you? Okay, but again, if I'm not notified,
Mm,
it's like you winking at a guy in the dark. He doesn't know you did it. And I don't know you replied. Uh, anyway, so I have Inktense pencils.
yes.
So is that just another form of the pigment and it's just a solid little block of color?
Yep.
And you
It's the
activate it
same.
with a wet brush or whatever.
Yeah, sometimes I use clear gesso and sometimes I use matte medium because I know it is a supposedly permanent ink, but when I put it on for, say, I want to do an outline around here and I'm going to activate it. If I don't activate it all, sometimes with water, you might miss, and
Yeah,
the clear gesso gives it that extra protection. And I do that
yeah.
with my Stabilo as well. I use clear gesso or a matte medium to activate it so it doesn't move.
So you could, Pam, the ginger cat lady, has
Ginger
stopped
Pam.
in. She says stopping in to say hi live with Di right now.
Yeah, she's live with Di.
I gotta love that. Someone leaves their own live
Tell
to
Di
say hi
hi.
somewhere. That's wonderful. And Junk Journal Joanne is here as well. Um, okay, and Carol is just saying, confirming what I've been saying. Notifications are pretty much non-functional at this point for YouTube. We have to go to YouTube Studio and search for comment responses and unresponded comments. Um, yeah, it's crazy. Um, okay, so you're saying that stuff, whether in my pencil or in your block, is ink?
Yes, and it's
Ah,
permanent.
that is oh, and Sandra's here. Hi, Sandra. Um, That is awesome. So have you used the pencils? Do you know, like,
I
in
have the
terms of,
pencils.
okay, so pigment wise and coverage and so on, would they be similar? I would,
Yes,
okay, so I would have guessed that the blocks would be more, ooh,
it's
intense.
it's the same. It's
Okay,
just how much you're putting out.
okay,
Because
okay.
with the blocks, it's easier to do a bunch, a puddle, and the more water you add, the more you dilute it.
Yeah. One of the videos that I caught was you showing um I don't think I wrote down the name of the video, but you were showing past projects. And honestly, they are unbelievable. I love an
Thank you.
accordion book at the best of times. And you had like Willy Wonka there and
Oh,
these,
yeah,
I just happened to have it.
I do, but not. I have to get it from. I think it's over there.
Well, just do a somersault across the bed.
Yes, really. It's in my mats.
Oh, hi, Jacqueline.
Yes, it's in this book, the one that's
So,
full of husky fluff.
Jonna, you'd better, she loves Willy Wonka. You'd better, can you flip to that page and show her?
Sure.
She's gonna get knocked off her chair.
Let me brush off the husky fluff it just got full of.
And I thought you were a genius, if I understood this correctly. You use photo corners so that you can take those pieces, art pieces out of there, and you could digitize them or whatever.
Oh yeah, these are just in there, just sitting in there. These are my Tim Burton style.
Uh, Jonah saying, "Oh, Willie, like really?" And see, and that kind of imagery would be right up Gwen's alley as well, because she loves the sort of the spooky kind of stuff.
And that one is nothing. But then if you go to the other side, and I love to draw, but
So are you with this art form? I mean, with this art, oh, I love that guy's hair. Talking about a bad hair day.
that was
Um,
a meme off of Facebook.
are you formally trained or are you self-taught?
Self-taught.
Oh, very good.
My mom.
Well, people in the chat are duly impressed. So, oh,
Well, thank
Christina's
you.
here. Christina, were your ears burning? I was talking about you in Memphis and how we're going to meet you. Um, yes, I thought those were gorgeous.
Yes, my
Oh, and
birdtober.
you're
I do
okay,
bird.
so and those are lovely as well. So do you, in a case like that, do you know the subject matter so well, or do you use reference photos?
Reference.
Okay, now you called it Birdtober, but
Yeah.
you're all there's something out there called Inktober.
Yes, it is Inktober, but this was a version that somebody else
Oh,
had, and it was
okay,
Birdtober.
those are gorgeous. And again, same sort of mounting.
Yes.
And who among us does not have those photo corners? So, okay, so the
You make them.
pieces that the pieces themselves are on watercolor paper.
Yes.
And what is the book watercolor paper as well? Or what is
Yes.
the
This
okay.
this is actually one of my
Oh yes.
paintings
Yes.
that I did, and I turned it into a book.
Yes. That was
So
yeah,
I
that's
handed
lovely.
this, which is why I'm going to getting into more bookbinding.
Yeah. So okay, again, to give us a reference point, what are the dimensions of that journal? About
Um, 5 by
Again, about
5, 6 by 5, or something like that.
okay, yeah. So really doable in terms of size,
Mhm.
even if a person isn't a pro like you are.
I'm not.
Um, so okay, Inktober, Birdtober, scavenger hunt. Would it be fair to say that you are very much uh, participating in challenges and collabs like that as a way to stay engaged, or just to like, or do you have personal
It's a
connections to the
bit of
people who
bit of
started
both.
them?
A bit of
Okay,
both.
yeah,
It's nice to do, and then you get to share, and you do all the linking and everything, and
yes,
um, it's a challenge. And sometimes I don't complete all those challenges.
yes. Yep. Yeah, I think we have to get over ourselves in a sense and just give ourselves a little bit of grace and, cut ourselves some slack because most of us have multiple, excuse me, this voice, have multiple balls in the air at any given moment. So if we drop the occasional one, I think we can be
Yeah, it's
forgiven.
fine. You just move on and go find something else to do, and then later on, if you feel the need, you can go back and finish, and if not, you cut it up and you do something else.
Okay, you must be a mind reader. I was going to circle back to the whole cutting up idea. Have you cut up pieces of artwork or just
Yes.
stitchery? Okay.
Yes. Yes, I
Yeah.
have, and I've turned them into Twinchies. I've turned them into ATC's cards, all kinds of things. Sometimes it just if you have it for so long, what do you do with it? Like,
Yeah. Oh,
turn
yeah.
it into something new.
Well, and sometimes, and I think I'm going to be doing some of that one of these days in one of my mixed media lives, is we all have some of those paintings that we're not enamored with, or we
Mhm.
abandoned midway because this damn thing is not working out. So reworking it now with, a new skill set or fresh eyes or cutting it up to it,
Or
um,
getting punches.
yeah, is just a way to,
These
move on.
these are my old artworks. I turned them into ATC coins.
So what's the diameter there? About two
These are
inches?
2 inches or an inch and a half to 2 inches.
Okay.
But yes, these were my art. It was a 9 by 12, and I just started punching.
Yeah. And obviously I said this at the beginning of the interview, but for those who came later, Carol's channel is My Quiet Corner. And of course, she's not the only one in the world with a quiet corner. So when you search for her channel, you have to remember to use hyphens between those words.
Yes.
And I find it interesting that your avatar is is a crow that you've clearly painted with kind of a little
Yes.
he's eagle-eyed. So now that
My
we've seen,
initials are CAW.
oh,
Caw.
caw. Oh dear. Oh, and Carol has managed to put in a plug for my masterboard madness that is happening this month. So um just I will say that I really loved the video that appeared today by Trudy, who is Tucker and Tulips design. She started out with her substrate and glued down a bunch of, a variety of old papers. Then she added ink. Then she added stamping. Then she added embossing. And then she used some patterns like of a stylized bird, a mushroom, excuse me, a heart or whatever, and cut those out. And I thought that was genius
Yep.
because, anyone, we've all cut them into rectangles or squares or, long strips, but to cut it into a bird and to have all that mixed media effect to it, like I love that idea. So I'm stealing that. Um, Okay, yes, and I did have a notation about using your artwork as a journal cover. So was that acrylic on canvas, or was that
That was
just
watercolor.
watercolor? So you had a nice maybe 300-pound paper or something that
Yes.
you could, okay, good. Um, okay. That is really good. I also put in quotes something that you said. Art is a great way to get through life.
Yes, it is.
I think most of us here are believers, but do you want to expand on that a bit? Has that like how has that helped you? Is it well, I'll let you you
My
say
life,
whatever you want.
okay. Well, it'll be the watered down version. Um, I've had a rough life for one, and mostly being alone through a
Mm,
lot of different things with no family around and different things. I threw myself into my YouTube and my art, which was my connection to the world. So with the art, it was calming. It was my way of expressing everything, getting out your emotions and your feelings. Like I have some journals where probably isn't good that I should do this online, but I did some of it anyway.
yeah,
And that's part of the reason why the other channel is no longer. But
yeah.
it is your heart and your soul going into out through your hands and onto your paper or your stitching or whatever your product or medium you're using. It's your energy coming from inside you expressing how you're feeling. Your feelings are coming out. So it does help alleviate some of the stress, maybe not all of it, but some of the
Mhm.
stress. And it does, and I can't say it enough. Do whatever you want to do as far as your mediums because it is very healing.
Well, and the part that I would like to make note of is the fact that, you're for personal reasons, obviously you're talking a wee bit in circles, and that's fine. Um, but I think we all know that sometimes we have emotions that we wouldn't necessarily want the whole world to
Right.
see about after we've kicked the bucket or whatever. So I think it needs to be said that I admire and um appreciate when people are authentic enough to take that risk, to be vulnerable, to call a spade, to not whitewash something that is clearly wrong or bad or what, pick the adjective, but just have enough personal integrity and um, to actually be walking the talk because there's no shortage, I think, of people who are putting on a hell of a good act on YouTube and other social platforms, creating or portraying a vision that isn't necessarily um, authentic. So when people are enough are brave enough, bold enough, secure enough, whatever the word is, to share the good, the bad, and the ugly, I think it should be applauded. So thank you for doing that. Um, and only those people in the audience, only those viewers who have never uh, lived a real moment in their lives would have any uh, urge to say something negative about the process because I mean it's part of the human experience. So
Hmm.
kudos to you.
Thank you.
I will just circle back to a question that Yolanda asked. So when we were talking about the journal cover, the watercolor journal cover, she's asking, do you wax it to preserve it?
I sprayed a fixative on it and then I clear
Okay.
coated it.
Okay. So what product would you have used as a clear coat? Would you just use matte medium?
No.
Oh,
Um,
because that would move the watercolor.
yeah, so when I spray the fixative on that
seals
takes
it.
that. But I have just gotten a new product that I want to try, and it's the Dorland wax. But I did the fixative, but then it was Grumbacher's matte spray over the
Okay.
top.
Okay, that's great. Uh, Sandra, preach it, sister. Uh, I um I noticed too that you have a lot of, or what I thought to be a lot of shorts on your channel. I don't think I've ever done a single one, so one of these days. But I just wanted to give the audience a feel for the broadness of the categories. So, and I didn't watch all of these, of course, but I did notice the subject matter. So dogs, go figure. Mountains, go figure. But carved golf balls? Come on.
Oh, yes. I actually I do carving. I do wood carving.
Oh my goodness.
This is hand carved, and this will be doing the airbrushing on.
Oh my goodness.
Yes, I
Uh,
do
ha
wood carving.
hand carved bobbins for lace making,
Yes.
bacon sizzling, and then a reference to a laser. So maybe just for the benefit of people who've come in later, um, you live with your son, but he must have a well-equipped garage for all of these tools, the laser, the lathe, um, so
Bandsaw, 3D printer. Yeah. It's a workshop.
yeah,
It's a shop.
and
Yes.
you're capable enough that you're actually he's letting you he's letting you use all his tools.
Oh yeah. These are what we do on the laser.
Okay, very cool.
This is Rundle Bear, the boss, if you know what the boss is. The
No.
kids, it's a bear that it goes up and around Banff, Canmore, and these are the actual Mount Rundle inside. That is the
Okay.
actual mountainscape. That's Mount Rundle. We have three sisters and all of those.
Yes.
Inside all like an elk has the three sisters in it. So they all have the different landscapes, but the landscapes are real because it's of all of the different areas in and around Alberta.
Yeah. So from what I can see, um this has depth to it
Yes,
because okay, yes, we can see it better at that
these
angle.
are layered. So we
Okay.
cut the individual, we stain the wood, we do the individual layer cutting, and then we hand glue each and every animal.
Okay, so who did okay, what's it called? 10
10 Peaks
Peaks.
Designs. That's
Oh,
the
so this
business.
is your son's business?
Yes.
And is this his livelihood or is that a
No,
side hustle?
no, this is something that the kids did together because Danny's a photographer and a tour guide in Alberta, up and around Banff and everywhere. Like
Yes.
she goes all over, and her photos inspired these animals. And together, between the woodworking and her photos and everything, they've created the individual animals for all
Okay,
around the
because
different
yeah,
areas. So
that's what
they
I was
right now
going
they
to
have
I'm
over
sorry.
40 different types of animals that they've made.
So these are what, sold through gift shops or online or what? Or combination?
They do have a website, 10 Peaks Designs, but we are also in uh, about 7 different stores up and around. And we go to the Banff and Canmore Christmas markets so you can see us in person.
Okay. Um, so yeah, I don't know if you said it to me before we went live or since we've been live, but you did say that your video production sort of slows down as you get into the Christmas season because you're busy
Yes.
working on.
So
So you're
this
working
is
in the
what we're
sweatshop
making.
then.
This is what we're making.
Yeah. Well, that's awesome. I was thinking that maybe so someone either uses that reference photo or draws it. If only we knew someone who could draw, then translates a pattern that is sent to the scroll saw. Is that how it
It's
goes?
the
Or
laser.
oh, laser.
It's a laser.
So a laser can cut wood.
Oh, yes.
A laser can cut anything.
Yes. Almost it. Almost.
Okay,
But
so
yes, Danny takes, which is my daughter-in-law, she takes a lot of photos of the animals, and she uses a lot of her photo references of the animals to get the designs that
yes.
for the woodworking.
That is great. Jonna, who lives in the southern US on the more to the east coast, is I think you've just convinced her that Banff needs to be on our list. And of
Oh,
course, if she comes to
definitely.
Banff, I will drive down and meet her there. So,
Oh, yeah, I drive
um,
up.
um, okay, I'm just trying to backing up here a bit to look at the some of the comments. So yeah, my hubby enjoys laser cutting too. Love the bear. Oh, hi, Cotty. I don't think I said hi. Oh, and Denise is asking the perfect question. What can't Carol do? Come on, tell us
Um,
one thing you can't do, just so we know you're
um,
human.
I don't know. I don't
Can you
know.
cook?
I
Can you
Oh,
cook?
yes. Yes.
Oh, damn. Um,
Cook,
can you
clean, sheep bottle.
can, can you dance?
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Roller
I
skate.
don't.
I can't ice skate.
Okay, thank you. Thank you.
Yes,
One
I
of
do
the
tat.
you do tat, yeah.
I tat and I do bob and lace, yes.
I own is it called a shuttle? That's
Yes.
as far as I got to tatting. I own a
I use
shuttle.
a needle.
Oh.
I like the needle.
One of the things that I was intending to get to, and this is probably as good a time as any, is in the videos and replays that I watched at different times. You have shown things that lovely son of yours has made for you. Like when I saw the little, I think it's a three-door drawer chest for
Yes.
your embroidery floss, I
Yes.
thought, oh my goodness, I need one of those. And then the second thought I thought, because of who I am and how my head is wired, or wired, yeah. Why is that woman not putting the dimensions in the description box? Really, it would be helpful because, of course, as we watch videos, we have no reference point. That's why I keep asking you, well, is that 6 inches or is that 12 inches?
Uh,
People,
it's
you need
20,
to check.
24 inches wide,
Okay, and how tall?
and it's a foot wide, or depth
24,
wise, and it
24 by
is
12 by,
and it is 7 inches, 7 inches tall. It's
okay,
2 feet wide, and a ruler deep.
okay. So, people, you need to find that video where she's showing it. And so she has her bobbins all standing on edge. Marie Kondo would be so proud of you to have them all standing like little soldiers. And it just seems so efficient. And did I hear you say that you're not going to be, look at that. Did I hear you say that you're not going to be putting them on those little bobbins anymore? You're going to leave them in skein form?
Yes.
Okay. And the reason for that is?
I don't like the bent thread.
Oh. Well, and another thing, I know that I've tried to put a whole skein of embroidery floss on one of those things, and it becomes such a fat little roly-poly thing that you know, or would be would piecing not be an issue? if you're using it off a bobbin, because obviously on a skein, it's, well, mind you, you'd cut it off anyway, because otherwise it would tangle
Yeah, yeah, you
something
just pull
fierce. Okay, so
usually just from hand to elbow width length to stitch with.
oh, Denise was saying she wasn't being cheeky. She was just saying that you're super amazing. Jonna says, what? She doesn't ice skate and she lives in Canada? Um, Marty says tap dancing, salsa.
You guys.
And Yolanda appreciated the Marie Kondo reference. Um, okay, so he did that. Now,
Yes.
mind you, is that going to become um superfluous if you keep your embroidery on skeins? Or
Oh,
will
it'll
you,
be just it would they would just lay them all out in there.
okay, but it would be, they wouldn't be so visible and organized.
Well,
He can build you something new.
there you go.
And then he built something. It wasn't a book cradle, it was a guide for punching the holes.
Yes.
And
He
that
built
looked,
that and he built the holder to be able to glue the edges.
oh, okay.
So
Oh,
he did
yes.
do the
Oh, that
cradle.
was that was the thing with the clamp.
Yes,
Oh,
that clamps the book to hold it so you can glue the edges or paint the edges, which I'm going to airbrush the edges of my new journals
she
that I'm working with.
airbrushes too. Okay. It seems to me that your son is probably missing a market out there. Um, I believe that people would buy those the drawer thing for the embroidery floss, and they would probably buy that stitching signature stitching guide as well. Now, of
Oh,
course, we know that
yeah,
right
I've
now,
had requests for that.
yeah, well, right now, of course, with the tariff thing is,
Yes,
we're not
it's
going to
hard,
talk about that, but we know that puts a huge kink in things. Um,
Marty.
um, Okay, Carol says she has hers in embroidery Ziploc bags that go on rings and she keeps them in numerical order.
I used to do that. I
Okay.
just found that the bags were too slippery
Oh,
when because
uh,
I've got so many different colors and
yeah. Jonna's is in a big mess in a drawer. Jonna is unattached. She keeps talking about a Montana cowboy, so I don't know. You're pretty close to the border there. Is there? Oh, hi, Brenda. Do you have, can you hook her up? Do you know any cowboys around in and around Montana? Calgary foothills. No? Hmm. This this is great. I love the fact that this, well, I'm going to call him a boy, but clearly is a man, that this boy can keep making good stuff for his mother and doing it in such a way that it looks so professionally done, sanded and stained and varnished and whatever. It's not
he's
anyway.
got the art bug. He has the same problem I have. We like to do a lot of different things.
Okay, Carol. People are really looking for trinket drawer liners that look like printer type trays. Oh, okay. Back in the day, when printers had those
Yeah,
letters.
there's a lot of people on the 3D community for printing with the filament and the plastic. You can
Oh, yeah.
create your own little bases and trays and different things, and then they don't shuffle around or anything, and you can make them whatever sizes you want. We've been doing that upstairs, um, but lately I've been painting, so it's like
Yeah.
that's been put on the
Every
side 'cause I've been painting the house.
people in the chat are chiming in with their own version of how they're keeping their embroidery floss. Cotty says hers is in a vintage tin. Oh, Jonna the one looking for the cowboy. Maybe she needs to have a show of her own called The Dating Game. Maybe we might have to do a version of that. Marty says, mine are in a mess and in several places around the house. You might say I'm a bit unorganized. um, that's great. I told you before we went live that my son lives in Denver, and he just happened to be up here. Well, I guess he's flown home today, but he was here. We all had dinner on Monday night, and the youngest grandson is 11, I think, and he says Cade has gotten into, like, my son bought him a 3D printer, and Cade has turned it into a little business. And he says that last week he made $96. Like, he's selling this stuff to, to his classmates. I said, you can do that in school? And he says, no, he does it on the bus. So it blows my mind to think what people can make with 3D printers.
Oh yeah, you can make amazing things.
So now that you've told me about that, maybe I need to tap that kid to make me some sort of an embroidery floss holder
There you go. They
with the
have a lot of stuff,
compartments.
a lot of options for free.
Oh dear. Okay, let me see what else. I've been so caught up in talking to you. I haven't been looking at my notes here.
I
Oh,
know.
yes. Okay, I also learned, and you confirmed, that you worked as a house painter at one point in your life.
Yes.
Um, so were you doing that when paints were kind of hazardous to our health and before they, went the VOC, low VOC
Well,
and
I did it for not this past 3 years, but 15 years. I did houses, schools, hospitals, everything, everything.
so what that would have covered the period where paints became less hazardous to our health,
Less,
right?
less,
Okay,
yes.
good. Yeah. Um, well, I've done I mean, I've painted in our house as well, but I have to say the cutting in just about kills me.
That's my favorite part.
Uh, it would be.
That's my favorite part, especially when you have a painter's helper on the end of your pole. Like, I don't even have to climb a ladder. I just use the pole and take the paintbrush, put it on the end of the pole, and just cut in.
Oh my goodness. I can't do it straight even if I'm on a ladder holding the brush at the end of my hand, never mind from ground level.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. And so why did you quit? It was just time?
My health.
I see. And that's the other thing.
It
It's, I
was
guess,
it was mostly construction, right? It was
oh,
big
okay, so new
construction, so I
builds.
couldn't handle the dust.
Yeah. Um, it is a bit of an open secret, I guess, that you have health issues because you openly talk about that on your channel. So I, of course, asked the question, or maybe you volunteered the answer before I asked, that you have an autoimmune condition that is caused by having been exposed to black mold.
Black mold,
And
the environment, it's a compilation of a lot of different things.
yeah. So how does that, I mean, obviously that's not good, and obviously we feel bad on your behalf. How is that affecting your life plans, your channel plans, your day-to-day activity?
Well, some days I have to cancel. Um, some days I just take my medicine and sleep the day away because that's what it
Hmm.
does. Um, when you take your inhalers, you shake. So my straight lines have now all become wiggly lines. And to compensate that, the sketchy look is in. So
Yeah.
you just go around it twice. Nobody will ever know the difference.
So when you say inhalers, you're talking about the rescue inhalers, not
Daily
the
inhalers.
what?
A daily inhaler. I
Okay,
have
but
a Rescue Plus,
oh,
a
okay.
daily.
So are we talking something like Symbicort?
Yes.
Okay. Well, I have that too, but I don't have like I anyway. So yeah, clearly you've mentioned that at times you couldn't catch your breath. So and I guess it continues to involve trips to doctors and there is really like we know that are no solutions for autoimmune conditions. So it's mainly a matter of coping,
Yeah,
um,
you you
mitigating.
adapt. You adapt.
Yeah,
You compensate for what happens. You just work around it. That's all.
yeah. So are you adversely or more affected during allergy season if you're
It's year
you said
round. Mine is year round.
okay, but is it not worse during spring, with trees and
No,
okay, so it's
it's
not
the
that
air in
environmental.
general.
Okay.
Yes.
Oh, you're just allergic to air. Oh, okay. I get it.
When it's windy, I can't talk because I lose my voice.
Yes.
It gets to that point, and smoke, I can't even go out of the house. So there's where the stitching happens when it's smoky outside from the fires.
Oh, yes, that was bad.
Yeah.
Charlene Studio says, my inhalers cause me to shake too, and so does Marty.
Mhm.
So, um, I honestly, mind you, I take mine sporadically, but I've never noticed that. I wonder if those
I guess
things
it
have
also
different
depends.
doses.
Yes, it has a lot to do with doses because I take 2 puffs in the morning and 2 puffs at night. So,
That's what I'm supposed to do.
usually within 5 minutes, I have the shakes and it lasts for a while. Sometimes some people don't get it,
Yeah,
but
well,
some, and it varies to everybody.
yeah. Um, Okay, so I guess that sort of reinforces your previous answer about you don't really plan because honestly, you probably don't know from day to day.
Yeah.
Like it would be doubly disappointing if you had a whole to-do list for Thursday, tomorrow, and then were to wake up and find out that it's a bad day. Um,
Yep, I even pre-plan when I do pre-plan or take extra inhaler when I'm going to go to the mountains and I know I'm going to hike because then I run out of air.
yeah,
So I prepare and take an extra dose
yeah,
before I do anything of exertion.
yeah. Um, so do you have like with again, I don't mean to go into territory that is uncomfortable or unpleasant or whatever, but I always feel that I want to learn, and I think the people in the chat want to learn. Is there some uh advice or caution or something that you would offer us and exposure to black mold? Because I mean, at a cerebral level, we all know that that's not a good thing. But
No, it affects every part of your body. And even if you don't realize it, it can get into your sinuses and everywhere, into your organs and everything. And you just have to kind of detox, so to speak. But the damage can already be done. And sometimes you just have to live with what's happening. And it causes a lot of extra autoimmune issues as well. So, but everybody's different, right?
yeah, and I imagine that those little spores, well, no, they're not really, are they? Yeah, they're spores.
Yes,
So they must like dark, damp places like lungs.
yes. Sinuses, lungs, it can get into your brain, it can go everywhere.
Oh, and and truly, there is no cure.
I'm not sure. We haven't gotten to that point yet.
So, oh, are you newly diagnosed then, or
I
there's
was
still
I was just told this recently. Yeah.
okay? So you're still in the
I'm
exploratory stages.
still doctoring.
Uh, Oh, so Gwen must also be on an inhaler. She says sometimes you don't shake as much if you use them often. That's been her personal experience. Um,
Like each person is different though.
yeah, yeah. So, and so was your exposure to black mold prolonged or was it just sort of fleeting? Like how
Long,
I don't suppose any exposure is good for anybody, but you say yours was longer.
yes.
Oh, that's
Mine
terrible.
started in childhood.
Oh, oh my goodness. Huh, that's terrible. Okay, let me consult my notes here. We're almost at the hour and a half mark, so I think I'm
Yes.
going to begin winding down, but of course I cannot let you go off the hook without asking my recurring questions that used to be 2 but has now doubled to 4. Are you an introvert?
I think I've changed. I used to be. Um, but I've been being here and being able to get out and do things and see things. I'm enjoying life. I'm
Yes.
65 and I'm enjoying life.
Yeah. Well, and that's great, especially, since you've hinted at there have been not so good times in your life. So it's great when a person comes into their own kind of, comfortable in your own skin, know what you like, know what you don't like, and are just pursuing the things that make a person feel happy and fulfilled because, a large part of life sometimes is um meeting expectations, being the person that holds everything together,
Yes, I was.
nurturing and making sure everyone is all right before mama gets to look after herself. So that's great.
I still kind
How
of
do
do that.
Yeah, well, we can't totally forget our
Yeah.
DNA. But we get a little more selfish and a little smarter about how we need to look after ourselves. That
Yes.
whole analogy on an airplane, you put your own mask on before you help your child. Um, how do you feel about the color purple?
I love purple. I love purple. I love black. I love blue. I love all gem colors.
Oh, good answer. Yes, there are many purple lovers in our midst, and I sometimes when people ask me what my favorite color is, I will say that I love the rich, saturated, you know,
Gem.
um, yeah, gem stone
Yep.
colors. Yes. Um, do you are you in the habit of choosing a word for the year? And if so, what is your word for this year, if you are willing to share it?
This year is peace.
That's another good one. I hope that includes a
It's
little bit of a nod to global peace, because goodness knows we could use
peace
that.
in general, but mostly for my inner soul.
Yes, yes. I'm thinking from Charlene's Purple Heart in the chat that maybe she's a purple lover as well. So yay. Yes, peace. You know, really, is there anything more that a person like? Is there a higher aspiration to have really for ourselves? We can take on anything if we have that sense of peace
Yep. I
within
had
us.
plenty of stress, so this year has been a new beginning of many for me. So
Mhm.
with all changes in my marital status, which is yay, and I went back to my maiden name, which is double yay, and the whole year, all the paperwork and all the crap and everything is
Yeah,
behind me. So now
yeah,
this is my peace year. This is
yeah,
me. This is being able to be who I have been wanting to be for the past 20 some odd years.
Well, and the word that pops into my mind as you're saying all that is freedom,
Yes, that
because
too. Freedom and
that's what
peace.
it amounts to. Freedom to
Yes.
be you and live your life as you choose to. That's awesome. Um, you said that you're 65 years old, so I'm curious what the best part of aging is for you.
Hmm.
And I deliberately asked that question because I want this to be um well, it doesn't have to be profound, but I want it to be, I could say, well, what do you hate about getting old? But that's a totally
I
different
don't
question.
hate
That's
getting old. I don't hate getting old at all. Actually,
yeah,
I find it liberating,
yes,
um, being able to know what I know. Wishing I didn't know a lot of stuff, but being able to make the changes that can make me be me.
yes. So that would be, I would say another word for that is also wisdom. Some of
Yes.
that comes from the school of hard knocks, and some of
Yes.
that is just, putting in the time, putting in all
Yes.
those years. And I think also because, there are those people who can put in year after year, can end up old and dying and still not have learned a darn thing. So it's not just the passage of time. I think it's being aware of and sensitive to what is going on around oneself and learning from life lessons from other people, from making mistakes, from having success. It all adds up. And, you know, there's a reason for that expression. You get smart and then you die because
It's
it kind of takes a lifetime.
take advantage of life now.
Exactly. And I think obviously it doesn't insure us against making new mistakes. We learned something about the old ones, but we can still make new ones.
Yeah.
Um, so before we call it a night here, are there any announcements that you have for your channel or anything you'd like to? Oh, you know what? Sorry, I'll let you answer that. But I came up with another good question that I think I
Oh,
should start asking people. Is there any person or persons that you would like to acknowledge as being a real big, as a mentor or a big influence in your life, living or dead, um, pro or not, art or not? Like, is there just like who's someone that might have really had a hand in how you turned out?
hmm.
I ask all
Well,
the easy questions.
I know. Um, I have to say I look up to my mom a lot for her artistic abilities and her love of all kinds of things as well. Um,
Yes.
in the community wise, I would have to say the first two people that I found on Ustream YouTube would
Okay.
be Edie Willingham and Shannon
Okay.
Green. They were the first ones that I
Shannon Green.
seen. Yes, she's an amazing person. Um, those are the first two people I really found that did a lot of things. But then as the community evolved, we all became like family. And
Yeah.
there's so many new people here that like Devin, Yolande, she
Yeah.
is such a talent in herself. Like everybody has their own unique capabilities, their own styles, and
Yes.
you can take so much from each and every person that you
Yes.
watch and make your own style and incorporate different things. So it's really hard to say you don't learn from everybody because watching your channel, you're doing your master boards, everybody does it in a different way.
Yes.
So you watch everybody. watch your
Yeah.
masterboard channel. I started watching it. Um, and Charlene actually there, she's also doing book covers and stitching on Amazon things. So, everybody has their own takes and different ways. I've used my pictures for book covers. You
Yes.
can use your master boards for book covers. It's like
Yes.
there is so many different people that have so much talent. You got to watch everybody.
Yes. Yes. The only thing I would push back on there is that I think sometimes we also need to take a break
Mhm.
and be silent and turn off all the influences and see what
See
Carol
what you,
wants to do and see
yes,
what Hazel wants to do.
yes,
And because I think, in the beginning, we're like sponges, we're taking in all this influence, and then we develop relationships with people and we want to support them. So we
yeah.
subscribe to their channels, we like, we watch, we interact, we say yes when we're invited to collabs. Um,
I find my art is different when I am not on camera.
yeah,
I
yeah,
find it more detailed, more in depth, more me.
yeah,
Um, I'm not worried about watching chat or
yeah,
trying to teach something because I
yeah,
can just sit and just
yeah,
do.
yeah. So yeah, I think, and maybe that's where we'll wind, where we'll end up. So we should all be striving to keep learning from any and every source that we're exposed to, but we also need to balance it with some of our own creative time so that we can find out
Yes.
what it is that we want to do rather than jumping from one fad to another and one process to another and so on.
Yeah. Take
Because
the
maybe
time and
it's a
you do you.
yeah, because maybe it's hard to develop real depth of expertise if we're constantly flitting from one thing to another.
Mhm.
Again, personal choice, of course. Um, Carol, this has been an absolute pleasure. I'm so glad that our paths crossed, at least virtually. And if there's any way that you and I can get together in person, I would love to do that. Um, it's
Definitely.
yes, and you know, we we maybe teased you a wee bit about being able to do everything, but truly, you're not dabbling. Everything that you are doing seems to be a very high caliber. So it is, it's awesome. It would be terrible if you were pulling out all these samples and these things to show us, and if they were all crap, that would be that would be bad. But I mean, that fish, oh my goodness. um anyway, this has been a real delight. Thank you everyone who's been in the chat. A special thank you to the people who showed up because you were here.
Yes,
It
thank
was
you.
nice, to know that you've got a cheering section. Again, hopefully everyone has had a chance to get acquainted in the chat and to choose to support each other because that's part of what this is about. And yeah. Oh, I guess I should plug who's coming next week. Who is it?
Violet. Hi.
Oh, how about next week if we are seeing Laura, the half-ass crafter?
Oh, yes. I watch her. I
And
watch.
then Kit Bell, who is another Canadian artist. She has a very different aesthetic. And then the final week in March will be Bianca from BB's Closet Creations. Babe, aka Violet.
Violet.
Okay. Thank you, Hazel, for interviewing our Carol. Well, I didn't know that she was your Carol. Now she might be our
I know
Carol.
Violet for many years.
Well, it seems that, yeah, if you've been around that long, you have such you know, your Rolodex is big and bulging.
Yes. Thank you so
um,
much, everybody, for coming.
yes, that was truly very, very special for you. Um, and of course, there is a playlist on my channel with all 40 interviews. Yes, 40 interviews. And there's something to be learned from each and every one of them. Thank you guys, and good night.
Bye, everybody.